Welcome back to Growth Lab Sessions. I'm Joao, CEO of Stealth White Label Agency. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful acquisition channels for agencies today, LinkedIn. Our guest today is Ibrahim, an entrepreneur known for building and scaling B2B companies. If you want to understand how agencies can consistently attract high-quality clients through LinkedIn instead of chasing leads, this session is for you. Ibrahim, welcome to Growth Lab Sessions. Are you ready to take it to the lab?
I am ready to take it to the lab.
All right, awesome. If you're an agency owner looking to scale, you definitely want to explore our solutions at Stealth White Label Agency. With 14 years of experience and over 120 niches, we've been helping agency owners not only fulfill for their clients, but also acquire new clients so you can only focus on scale for your agency. If you're interested, definitely DM me, Joao, on my Instagram or comment below and somebody's gonna reach back to you. Back to the podcast. So class number one that we're going to cover right now is how to build a high converting offer that works for LinkedIn outreach. Cool. So Ibrahim is the master, as I've shared in the intro, on outreach via LinkedIn. And he's going to be covering that for us right now. So to kick it off, how do you think about creating offers that convert on LinkedIn?
Yeah, so as far as creating offers on LinkedIn, or just really creating offers in general, there's three different verticals that you can take. The first one is you have to portray yourself as a company or a provider that helps other companies save money, make money, or you fear them, like scare them into making a decision. So for example, we have industries like if you're doing marketing for compliance, for example, that would be sort of a scare tactic. For marketing, however, it's always going to be making them money. And as agencies started to grow, the trends for what messaging worked shifted drastically. People before used to not add guarantees. They used to just say, hey, I do marketing. Great. Other people used to talk to them as far as outbound. Then we started getting into guarantees. And now the trend is profit sharing. So basically you would reach out to a company and you would say, look, I'll run this marketing for you, but our incentives are going to be aligned and I will only make money if you close a deal, or I will make money or whatever. You guys cover our retainer and then we'll make money when you guys close the deal. So basically people really care right now about aligned incentives. And so that's what we use at Grow Big Ventures. We literally only make money if deals close. And it's been working very, very well. And that gives us the upper hand in this sale as well. But yeah, that's as far as the messaging goes. And I can share my screen as well with you and kind of show you types of messages that I believe work very, very well. And I can even show what types of messages we use to convert. So
that's perfect.
And then Joao,
you're not holding back any of the sauce, huh?
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. And I'm actually going to show you email as well. So there's strategies to email that's super different as well. The tool that we use is HeyReach, and there's two different tools that I really recommend. HeyReach is if you have a really good offer, a really good marketing offer that can numerically make other companies money. Like you can track it, right? If you have an offer like SEO, for example, and you are an SEO agency, this tool won't work as well. What might work better is a tool like Join Valley. And Join Valley was built by a very good friend of mine. His name is Zaid. And he used to be one of my co-founders, ex-co-founder. And so I'm trying to find the exact workspace that we used. But basically what Join Valley does is it personalizes messages based on the user's profile that we reach out to. And I'll show you a couple of examples of what this looks like. And you guys can reach out to Join Valley, and I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever, or we actually get discounts. So any of the tools that you guys see that you see is beneficial that you want to use for your own agency, before reaching out to them, reach out to me. Most likely we're going to have enterprise discounts that we can pass on to you guys as well. That said, the messaging of Join Valley and how it works is it uses AI to, again, personalize everything. So for AI SEO, which is what we were selling for a while, it'll actually tell you, and it'll decipher who's not interested, who's maybe interested, and who's interested. And if we click on the interested guys, okay, and you can see there's a pretty good ratio of like maybe interested to interested and then not interested. So this is usually way higher. This is usually way lower with general cold outbound. But for an offer that is really hard to guarantee anything in, especially guaranteeing money back or revenue or actual leads, and you're an agency, this is the tool for you. So it'll send them a message that's personalized. So it'll talk about like this specific message is talking about a video, and it was spot on. And the core challenge now is that brands are not showing up in the ad-driven world, and it'll pretty much personalize absolutely everything, and then it'll include the booking link at the very bottom. So these leads can book a call. And yeah, this is the personalized side. And you guys can pause the screen or pause the recording and kind of see what that looks like.
So like we started talking about how to create an offer that converts for LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
But we quickly jumped on personalization. So in the past, or traditionally, outbound that was working really well was when you can hit them with a very good offer, right?
Yeah.
But like now you started talking about the personalization right away. So what's the best approach for an agency right now that wants to sell like Facebook ads?
Yeah.
Should they create an offer, or should they just jump on to Join Valley and like let this personalization take it over?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. The only time we use personalization is when the offer sucks and there's nothing we can do about it. That's why I use like SEO as an example, because most of the time it's really hard to articulate what SEO can do, because for different people SEO does different things. And so there's no final outcome for what SEO does. And so the replacement of a good offer is a really personalized message, a hyper personalized message. As far as creating a really good offer, on the other hand, it's if you can obviously make clients money or save them money. And so what I like to always start with as far as LinkedIn goes, and I'll log into here as well and show you a few examples, is, let's see here, is an opener. And most openers, like people read the first 10 or so words of the message. And if you like open up your LinkedIn app and you look at all the messages that you have, you're going to see the first few words, and that's what most people read. And so it's important to hook them in the subject, which is extremely important. Okay. And it's really important to hit them in the first 5 to 10 words. So for example, subject can be client intro. And then the actual body of the message could say, are you open to signing more clients on a results basis, for example? Okay. This will get people to open the damn message. People will want to understand what is going on. First, they see client intro, which is a tiny bit bait and switchy, I do agree, but they see that and they automatically think, okay, intro to clients. Are you open to signing more clients on a partnership on a results basis? My team and I will guarantee you land 5 to 10. This is like the most sort of basic type of messaging that you can use. My client will guarantee X result. So you will land 5 to 10 new customers in 90 days through AI, through ads, AI, or let's just say ads, or we will work for free until you do so. So
Now, is that messaging and offer still working these days?
if you send enough, it does. It is all about volume, and It's always been working. The only thing is, the only sort of addition that I want to add is people will book a call using this message always, because there's always companies that are looking to get more clients. But what happens on the sales call is more important than the actual message itself. And so if if you can jump on the meeting and you can say, hey, yeah, so I know we said we'll guarantee this, but I'll give you a better one. Rather than just giving you a guarantee, for example, why don't we just work on a revenue share basis where we only profit once you close clients? And obviously, we need to still charge that retainer because that covers the cost of tools, that covers the cost of our team. But we also want to keep a percentage of the sales that we bring you. And then that way, our incentives are aligned. And most, like, it depends if you're what niche obviously you're going after. If you're going after SaaS companies with high margins, you could do a revenue share. But if you're doing like products, for example, ads for products, they have a very small margin, and you might want to do a profit share. So you take a percentage of the profits after expenses as well, and that can add up. That can add up very well. The
So what's
trend
what's a
isn't
revenue what's a
yeah.
revenue percentage or profit share that has worked for other agencies
Usually 10 to 15% is what we do. Um,
of revenue?
but yeah, of the client that you guys bring them. But that's also a
Sure.
negotiation tactic. And sometimes with if the company that you're working with is high ticket and they're selling a high ticket product, we've had companies that we work with that sell something for like $50,000, for example. And um, sometimes they're not always comfortable with that percentage. So you can leverage that to get a better cost for yourself, a better retainer for yourself. So you might say, yeah, so this is the average of what we do. We take a revenue share, but if you're not comfortable with the 15%, we can bring it down to like 10 and then just increase your cost by $1,000. That way our team can actually profit. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So it's a really good negotiation tactic on actually closing the deals.
And what's a base retainer?
The base retainer for us, we have for outbound marketing specifically, we have three different packages. And I'm actually, I'll pull up what we do. So we send a million
Yeah.
emails per month and 12,000 LinkedIn messages per month for 7.5 thousand, 250,000 emails and 6,000 messages per month for 4,000, and 125,000 emails and 3,000 LinkedIn messages for. So basically it varies based on volume and really ad spend. So my recommendation is charge an amount that they gasp for, like they gasp into, because the 7.5K package, not many people go for that. I'll be very transparent. But what we say is hey, it's $7,500 up front for a 4 month minimum, and you have to pay up front. So you got to pay us $30,000 for this. So in their eyes, your respect goes up. They're like, okay, these guys are charging a really high amount. That means they really know what they're doing. And that way, even if they say no, any price you give after seems significantly better than the price you gave them prior, because no one is going to pay, most people are not going to pay $30,000 up front or don't have the budget to pay that amount.
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. That's some real sauce right there for other
Yeah.
agency owners. Now, to wrap up class number one on how to build a high converting agency offer, like what else would you say for agency owners in terms of building that out? Because like you showed a really good one where it's my team and I will guarantee you 5 to 10 new clients, whatever. Like, are there other ones that you could suggest?
Yeah. The easiest one, and this is if you want to do market research and don't have a necessarily an offer, and you want to build something that that you can use later. It would just be, I put together, because offers nowadays, offers are good, but I use offers on sales calls. Like most of our offers are for sales calls. The only reason why we do messaging for outbound, and why it's important to have the right message, is to get as many booked calls as possible, so then we can present it in the offer. But revenue sharing is 10 out of 10, as mentioned, one of the best offers that I've personally done, because it puts you on a pedestal for that client. So even if you're charging more, for example, you're not competing with the next guy because most likely they don't want to pay someone that their incentives are not aligned with. But as far as like another offer goes, it's like, hey, I put together a free guide on X problem to help you find X solution. Can I share it with you? This is not a traditional like message at all as far as agency offers go, but it gets a lot of people to respond. And as long as you can get someone to respond and they give you the okay for you to reach out to them, you can give that lead a call or give that, send that lead an email, get in contact with them essentially and convert them. This is really good if you have very low sending volume, but you want a lot of leads who are qualified. This is a lot of work to get somebody on a call because then they might respond and they might say, yeah, sure, share it with me. And then you're going to have a back and forth conversation with them. For us, we just say, hey, this is what we do, calendar link. And I will even show you maybe an example of what that looks like. So this is the HeyReach platform.
So do you think revenue sharing would work well for software services as well? Like, let's say there's a account management software that helps you recover or helps you land upsell opportunities with your existing clients. And you charge a very basic minimal, a very small software fee. And then you just have a way to charge like a 10% on upsells.
Yes, that'll be a nightmare to track, but in theory, you can do that. What I would personally do is I would say, hey, for every client that's upsold, that's marked from our system into like by your team, essentially, we would just increase the price by a little bit. And it wouldn't be a massive amount, it would just be a tiny amount. And you have somebody on your team who's just doing billing pretty much every single day, waiting for these clients to get upsold. And that way you can advertise it in a way where it's like the base cost is the base cost. That's our cost of operation just to even get you onboarded and ready. But where we want to make money is in the success with you. And so that makes an offer where incentives are aligned. And that makes the prospect way more comfortable to work with you just because they feel like somebody's in it with them. They see you as a partner. And that's the important fact.
Yeah.
Like they need to see you as a partner, not as an agency. Yep. And then this is, again, one of the dashboards that we use. And just to kind of give you one example, we use very similar messaging to the ref share messaging. We have 70 LinkedIn accounts sending outreach as we speak.
Well, thanks for sharing all of that.